Dang it, somebody found me on YouTube.
Hi, I told him, I just told Michael G. Cox, quiet on the set. Don't talk before I start recording. Of course, he's talking, he's got to just throw a monkey wrench into the works. But hi, everybody, Recruiting Animal here. I don't know why I'm looking over here today. Recruiting Animal here on September 28th, 2021. We got a great guest today. How do you say your name?
Sarah, it's fine. Sara, actually. But...
No. Okay, Sara. Okay, but you got yourself listed all the time. My Facebook group. That's how I know her. 3 names. You don't just put Sarah. It's Sarah something with a lot of squiggly remarks on it. Okay, what it marks? What is it?
That's like you would write it SH, so Sh, Vošinek Gašpar. That's my surname. Vošinek Gašpar.
Vošinek Gašpar. There's no hyphen between those names. One's like a middle name. What's your maiden name? What's your
Vošinek? And I married Gašpar. Yeah.
You married Gašpar. Okay. She's an IT recruiter in Slovenia. I know that you don't know where Slovenia is because I had to look up. I remembered it, but I had to look it up on the map. It's in the northeast corner of the former Yugoslavia. Okay. And she seems to be very patriotic about Yugoslavia. She's demeaning capitalists all the time and bragging about how great the Yugo was. You younger recruiters don't even ever heard of a Yugo, okay? But she's going on about it on Facebook. Anyway, that's where she is in Slovenia. And her name is Sara Vošinek. Was that it?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Sara Vošinek Gašpar.
Sara Vošinek Gašpar. And am I right that on LinkedIn, you're just Sara VG? Or, yeah. So how are some people supposed to find you? Why? Let me ask you this. She speaks great English, okay? I've been talking to her for a few minutes. Why not just Sara Gašpar, okay? To make it easy for the world, the rest of the world. Not everybody's Slovenian, okay?
I mean, these are those hard questions. Like, for example, we don't have XYZ, XYQ, W in our alphabet. Should you change your name? Like, should Michael not be Cox and just rename himself and write it so it's international?
Michael is standard English, okay?
No, but they don't have an X in their language.
He told us.
I know.
Okay, Michael G. Cox.
I speak 6 languages. English is just one of them.
You're smarter than me, okay? But you're not smart enough to use standard English. Sara VG. How can anyone find you, Sara VG, on LinkedIn?
You didn't find me when you.
It was hard, okay?
I'm going to see if I can find her.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. And then once
give me some feedback because I changed this like 2 weeks ago, so it's
okay.
Still
She's got all those diacritical marks. You won't figure it out. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Here's some other free advice. In everyday English, you work with a company. You don't cooperate with them, okay? You're always saying you're cooperating with companies. You're working with them. You're not cooperating with them, okay? That's the big takeaway, and I won't even charge you, okay? Am I right, Michael G. Cox?
Found her.
What?
I found her.
Okay, yeah, congratulations. Okay, okay, something else. You say, she likes to complain about Americans. Okay?
Yes, I do. That I do. That's a hobby of mine. I must say, don't take it personally, but
she complains about capitalism and Americans, man. I showed up for the wrong show.
Okay. And here she's saying, oh, those Americans keep asking you why you don't smile. And like she says, there's so much prejudice against Eastern Europeans and Russians. And I've been on with her 15 minutes now. She's smiling the whole time. I don't know.
Do they not smile very much in Slovenia?
No, obviously we smile, it's not really common to ask someone to smile. It's like people don't tell you like you should smile more. They don't tell you that. Because like you smile.
I've never told anyone that.
That's great for you, and I really appreciate it. You should just not say this to anyone.
Okay.
Why would anybody ever say that? That makes, and nobody's ever said that to me. I smile too much. Maybe.
I've been told, okay?
I've never heard anybody say in my physical presence, you should smile more.
Okay, final intro question.
Never.
I found your company website. It's not, it doesn't have a button in the corner that you can switch to English, okay? What's with you? No.
Why should it?
See it? Because she wants to work with the world, okay? She's worked on searches
Oh, this
in
is like
India.
her own personal website?
Yeah.
What is the
You're
website?
right. I'm so sorry. Like just today, I got a message. Like I got a message from Wix that I have to pay them for 2 more years. And honestly, this is something that I did 2 years ago, and kind of forgot that I didn't do English version. I'm so sorry.
What is the
I had
website
to English
address?
version.
Now look, everybody, English is the international language. I'm not just being chauvinistic, okay? Because that's the language
I'm
I
good.
learned.
Okay.
That's like people from Texas saying that the Cowboys are the. Here, let me ask Rich. Rich, what do you think about people from Texas that say the Dallas Cowboys are America's team?
I think it's nice to be in Texas.
That's not a good example.
No, it's the exact same thing as saying that.
No, in ancient times, Greek was the language of the Mediterranean. It didn't matter if you you're from Syria, you're from Egypt, you spoke Greek if you wanted to participate in the world culture. Then later on in the Middle Ages, it was Latin. It didn't matter what country you were from. You spoke Latin, okay? Today it's English.
No,
But maybe
actually,
in the
you're
future,
wrong there.
no,
You
maybe in
know
the
that the
future
most-
it'll be a Slovenian, but it
No,
isn't
no, no.
Slovenian now, okay?
No, it's too hard. Slovenian is too hard. But actually, in Europe, more people speak German as a foreign language than English. Sorry to break it to you, but it's really true. So
Here's
we
the
can
thing
continue
about
this in
us
German. I
Americans.
do speak German, but
Really don't care.
and Italian. So
Hey, well done. I
you
speak
go.
a couple languages.
Yeah, he thinks in Spanish, everybody. He told us that. It was a surprise to me, okay? Okay, now
Sometimes I
here's,
forget the English word and I
yeah,
want
I
to go
don't
with the
believe
Spanish
you. I've
word.
known you for a few years already. This guy down there, okay, his URL is thesalesrecruiter.com. Wave so they know, because you're going to be in a different position.
Which
Okay,
one?
not you, Rich Rosen.
I don't know which one you
Wait.
gave me. You just gave me a new one.
I'll give you one. Okay, but Michael G. Cox is the salesrecruiter.com. He's wearing the orange t-shirt, okay, because these dummies don't know how to differentiate themselves. Now, Rich Rosen is software sales recruiting.com.
There you go.
Software sales recruiting.com. Sarah, Rich Rosen is the famous big biller here. Okay, so you can ask him any questions. Your friend, she was recommended by Ivan, and Ivan like worships the guy. Okay, so if you want to follow with him. So how much time has gone by? 10 minutes. We're still on the intro. Here's a good question.
Hey, quick question about. I got a question about the Yugo. Do they still make that in the
No,
It's a
region?
national car, I thought. No.
no, they
What
don't,
I
they
liked,
don't.
she said you could fix it yourself.
That's
right?
true.
Well, with duct tape and you're good
I
to
was
go.
gonna say
Yeah,
duct
basically.
tape and hamsters, you know.
The reason I asked,
Okay.
I actually saw one that went for auction recently, and it was like brand new, and it had like 5,000 miles. So some person
Wow.
in the United States
It's been in the
kept
shop that
a
long.
Yugo. What's that?
It's
You
been
know
in the
what?
shop that long.
You're going way off.
Yes,
You're
sir.
going way off. Now I know what's wrong. You guys didn't prep me.
Yeah, there
We're
we
back in business now, baby. Okay. Question, Sarah. You are an IT niche recruiter. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yeah, I
Okay.
only do developers. I only
Yeah. Okay. Can you know, or do you know why one candidate is better than the other? That's part one of the question. Here's part two. And then on that basis, do you advise your hiring managers on who to go with?
Yes, I can know which developers are better. I know because I speak with them, and based on what they tell me, I can quickly tell, okay, this person is full of BS or not, or they really know what they're talking about. I can do a code review for JavaScript very quickly. I can tell.
Hold on, you took a course called She Coder or something like that?
the codes, yeah.
Okay, were you a recruiter already when you took that course, or did you do it? Did you know about programming before you became an IT recruiter?
No, so I studied international relations, and I am not a technical person. I am married to a developer. And I came to like, I worked in Germany for a startup where we, as an office manager, where we needed developers. And that's how I got into recruiting as an in-house recruiter, because we needed developers. And what I did was ask a lot of questions to my fellow developers. And I learned really a lot about how to screen candidates and about tech and so on. And then I went to this course because I wanted to understand better what's the developer workflow and so on.
Okay, so
But
even
really, I
before
would
you
never
were
develop
doing
the
IT,
baby.
here's my point, everybody. She was doing IT recruiting before she took that course, before you had any hands-on knowledge of programming. Yes?
Yes.
And
yeah.
were you still a good recruiter? How did your recruiting ability compare before you took the course to after? Okay. Were you a good recruiter before you had any hands-on tech experience?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that course really so much helped, because the course is for developers and not for recruiters. So nobody came and like, nobody told me the things that are important for recruiters to know, right? To be able to screen candidates better. I just wanted to do that course for myself to understand better how.
Unreasonable. Who's with me here? Okay. She took a course and she learned about programming, and she's saying it didn't help her assess her programmer candidates better.
No, obviously it helped me make a code review for sure. Like I learned, like, so right now I am the, like, especially for juniors, right? So if I see the code of a junior and they approach things as I would, I know they are not okay. Because I'm not a developer. So
okay, so hands-on experience is worthwhile. Am I right about that?
yeah, sure.
Okay. Anybody, Rich or Mike, anybody want to comment? No.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Finally, you got to that question. Yes.
There you go. It's a long way to get
It
there.
is important.
It's, I don't know. It's important, but it's also good candidates going to be able to explain to you why they're good. I mean, once you start doing this job, you can tell the bullshitters from the real folks.
How?
Yeah. How they answer, how their confidence in the answer, how you ask them to get real granular about it. And if they can't teach me about it, chances are they're not that good at it.
Yeah,
okay.
or for example,
most IT, hold on, let me say something. Hi, Nick Livingston. I'll let you do an ad later on. Okay. He's from Honeit, HONEIT.com. Okay. Okay. But here's the thing, Rich. Most IT programmers, they hate recruiters who don't know in advance.
Everyone hates recruiters. It's
they hate recruiters who don't understand everything in advance.
Listen,
she's not in her head. She's with me.
Everyone hates recruiters. All right. Yet IT people say they hate recruiters all the time. Yet millions of them get placed every year by recruiters. So you know what? Don't believe the hype.
Sarah,
loud minorities.
Yeah.
Sarah, do you ask technical questions when you're talking to Java developers or?
I mean, I don't really do, like, it's not my job to assess their technical knowledge, obviously, right? But like, I do ask, do you write unit tests in your code? And then sometimes I get, that's not my job. That's a QA is supposed to do that. And then I'm like, what? No, what? No. Or they tell me like, React is a framework, and I know that this is not true, or they try to sell me stuff like you can only use React with MongoDB, you cannot use any other database, and it's like, how do you know? So I know from these things that they are full of BS, and they definitely don't deserve.
What do you say to them? Do you say, gotcha, you don't know what you're talking about, sir?
No.
What do you do when they say something stupid? What do you do?
I mean, obviously it depends on the context, but usually then these are the candidates that.
What do you say to them? Say, I'm knocking you out. You obviously don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
do you say that?
I don't really say it like that, but I'm
How
just
do
like,
you
okay,
say it?
I'm not going to
send you
forward.
Should I say it again? How
send
do you
forward.
say it?
Like
she said it.
Yeah,
what?
I said,
she
I'm
say?
not going to send you forward. You are not on the level that my
Are you crazy?
requires.
What do you know, you stupid recruiter? How can you judge me?
So you know what? So there was a company I was helping out a while ago. This guys were getting off the ground called TechScreen. And this is what it was built for, to teach recruiters how to screen technical candidates, developers and what have you. So you go to techscreen.com. You can check it out. But this is exactly what it did. It helped you score, engineers, developers, things like that. Because I don't do developers either, but every so often I get these crazy roles I hand off to folks. But
technical, I mean, technical is used very loosely too. I mean, it doesn't have to be engineers for technical questions, whether it's a marketing role or a finance role or a scientific role.
yeah,
I mean, you look at the world of marketing, there's like 70 expertise now in just the marketing function, right? And so it's like, how can you expect a recruiter to be able to know every single web analytics?
Recruiters are good. Do they fit the culture? Do they fit the requirement, the basic requirements? You can't expect
you
most
guys
recruiters
are
to be
talking
perfect
your
at it.
mumbo jumbo, and I let you go on about it, right? You're hanging yourselves. There's people, ignorant recruiters, young ones, who are listening to this show for some wisdom from you experienced people, and you didn't say anything. At least she said, I knock them out for these reasons because I took this course and I can recognize it then when they don't know their stuff. But she didn't say very clearly how she lets them down, okay? She didn't say, because we know.
You just tell them they're not a fit. I mean, it's very simple.
Okay, but what happens when they reply?
She literally said it word for word. She said, I tell them I'm not going to send you forward for this
when
job.
I asked the follow-up, why not, Sarah? I'm really interested and I think I'm good for this job. She didn't
Sarah,
say.
what do you say when they say, well, hold up, I think I'm qualified? What do you say?
I mean, I don't know. I don't like it hasn't, this has never happened to me.
I don't believe it.
Well, listen, if it happens, all you do is ask them, well, listen, tell me why you're qualified. And that's fine. It's a fair question to ask them. If they say they're qualified, great. Tell me how and why.
I mean, we're seeing recruiters perform technical phone screens every day. I mean, it's exciting, right? I think the difference is we can ask the technical questions, mumble jumbo, what's your experience with XYZ, even though I don't even know what I'm asking. And other people can.
He wants us to plug his product.
No,
now.
I'm just saying this is I'm going to do the ad happening every day.
He's the CEO. Listen to me, Sarah. He's the CEO of Honeit, HONEIT.com, the online interview technology. Okay, so you and your candidate call into the website and so you have the conversation online. It's recorded, and you could be a total dummy, but you ask the questions. The candidate answers them. It's recorded, and then you pass them on. You can create a little clip for the key questions, and you pass it on to the hiring manager. She can decide if the person knows her stuff. I appreciate what you're saying, Nick, but isn't it better if the recruiter can do it right there and then and not waste the hiring manager's time by sending someone on whom she can't judge? Okay?
I don't think so. I think recruiters are the middleman or middlewoman both ways.
Okay.
Hiring manager explains what they're looking for.
I think it's really important to say that I do only hire developers. So you guys are here all generalists, and obviously you cannot.
No, we're not.
I mean, come on. Yeah, you are, and Nick just explained how there is so many marketing people and so on. Obviously,
Nick is an IT recruiter. Am I right, Nick? Nick's an IT recruiter. SalesRecruiter.com. He's a sales recruiter only. Sales. Softwaresalesrecruiting.com. Rich is only software sales. That's why I got him that URL. Okay. So don't tell us what we are. Okay. We'll tell you.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, obviously I asked who's going to be here. Didn't do my homework, but I do only just do people that write code. So it's easier. I focus just on that. I don't, because I am not an HR person. I didn't come here from this, I know all the soft, soft skills, blah, blah, blah. I actually came to this business because I do speak, I am able to make connections with developers, and I do have enough technical knowledge for developers.
Wrong? Can I get nailed or arrested because I say I like her accent? Okay, it's kind of, like I like it.
You've given the world so many reasons to cancel you, and it hasn't happened yet. Go ahead and say whatever you want.
He's like Trump of the recruiting world. You just can't get canceled. I mean, it's amazing.
I haven't had my January 6th yet. Okay, so okay, I didn't know until 2 minutes before the show started that is it Sara or Sara? What is it again?
It's fine that you call me Sarah. It's an international
You tell
name.
me what it really is. I'm very sophisticated. I like to call you by your
Sara.
real name. Sara.
Yeah,
okay, I'll stick with Sarah. Okay. Okay. You have 2 kids. You have 2 little kids, and you said online that your working hours are 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then you go on siesta for the rest of the day. Am I right about that?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. It depends.
Sometimes. Hold on.
Yeah,
You
it
make
depends a bit, but
you made bold declarations in
I
your
do.
comments.
I try to do like 6 hours, something like that, 4 to 6 hours. I try to do 4 to 6 hours per day.
Sarah, do you support clients in Europe or clients in other parts of the world too? Like, are you work in different time zones or?
No, I don't work in different time zones. So yeah, just maybe that. Like 80% of my time, 90% of my time, I actually hire Slovenian developers for Slovenian companies as a recruiter with a Slovenian agency. And then I also am a sourcer for a German agency that hires globally people who want to relocate to Germany. And then for an agency that has
Then why online did you say that you were recruiting for some senior position in India and that you've also got candidates in Nigeria? Okay, I was misled by that.
I do see like, so for Germany, what I do is I love Reddit. I placed a lot of people through Reddit. So I just put ads on Reddit.
Tell us about that. So you use Reddit as a source?
Yeah.
Tell us.
How? I just go and they're like visa sponsorship, Germany, anyone, and then I get obviously a lot of people from India and from Nigeria and from like all the places on planet Earth that want to move to Germany.
Okay, so you're not going to any tech. You're not going to specific tech discussion groups like WIM.
Also, of course, yeah. Also, and I also sometimes reach out. If there are people, replying replying on certain texts, so on, I would go and reach out and be like, hey.
Anybody else ever used Reddit? Because Wim Damon's that guy, he writes about it. And there's another girl who writes about it too. Michael G. Cox, Reddit, ever use it? No. Nick Livingston? No.
I mean, I go there for fun, but not really for sourcing.
Yeah. Okay. See, I go there for fun, so I'm there anyway. So I was like, might as well.
You go there for fun? You're reading about visas for fun? Don't tell me that, okay?
But I go on Reddit for fun, so it's just it's the next logical step, just to use it also.
But you do say you make calls after 6 p.m. How many?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
How many? How many hours?
Usually, so I'm constantly online. I get pings on LinkedIn, so then I just reply. So it kind of depends. If it's Tuesday evening, I'm like there for 2 hours for sure. I'm just,
really? So how do you message? So you got somebody on Reddit, okay? But those sound like those are offshore candidates primarily. You're recruiting primarily Slovenian candidates. Where do you find those people?
So for Slovenia, actually.
Wait a second, he wasn't here. I'm going to test Nick. Do you know where Slovenia is?
Yeah, it's down by
down by
east of Italy.
Yes,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Great.
It borders on 3 countries.
I heard it's beautiful. I heard it's like very mountainous, and yeah.
Okay, so she's feeling.
So now you know someone.
So yeah,
I had a friend who married a Slovenian, actually.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know. You know who's Slovenian? Frank or background.
Sara.
You know who's Slovenian? Melania Trump is Slovenian. Duh. Hello.
No. I mean people in our circle. Oh, I can't remember the guy's name. I know him. I met him. He was here. I met him. Frank. What's Frank's last name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's never been there, I don't think. Anyway, well, how do you recruit these people? Where do you find them? Your Slovenian candidates on LinkedIn. You just mentioned LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, Slack.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
And a
Facebook?
lot of referrals.
How do you find them on Facebook?
Oh, in Slovenian developer groups.
How about Slack? How do you find them in Slack? Are you part of Slacks that are specifically dedicated to software? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then how do you message? Like Michael G. Cox messages people through LinkedIn. How do you message people on LinkedIn, or how do you get in touch with them?
So I only, most of the time, I just use the note, the 300 characters that I get when I request a message, and I just tell them everything that they want to know, like industry, stack, wage, and that's usually 300 characters.
No.
Tell
us. If it's a good opportunity, that should be enough. If it's a good opportunity with a good company, that should be sufficient.
Also,
I didn't understand what she said. Let us know.
Reply rates are really different overseas, dude. Like here in the United States, people brag about how I'm at 10% reply rate, and everybody's like, wow, what are you doing? in Slovenia and other.
Bad. They are still bad, but the reply rates are still bad. But I'm super refreshing for Slovenian developers because compared to all the Slovenian recruiters, I actually give them info they want to know. So I have quite a good response rate. I don't know the stats. Please don't ask me,
come on. You didn't tell us exactly what. Give us an exact example of what goes into a message. You say, I say this and that. I can't remember anything you said. Give us an exact example.
Okay, just let me.
If you have to read it, Rich,
Yeah.
do you have anything while she's working on that you want to? Oh, Rich is making business.
He's on the
calls.
phone. He's multitasking.
He's not interested. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Michael
He's
Gigoc,
cold
do you have a question you want to ask? No. Okay. Nick does. Nick's interested. Okay. So you got the next question, Nick. Think about it.
Well, I think
waiting
it's
for
great.
her.
I mean, now that LinkedIn's getting so expensive with the LinkedIn recruiter seats and the filters and all that stuff, they're pinning you. I mean, a good connection request when you don't have an InMail or credits, or you don't want to pay for a recruiter license, it's all about that 300 characters on an InMail connection request that you have.
You have to make it. So she's got a few things working for her in her advantage.
Niche.
To her advantage.
Niche in her niche.
No, to her advantage.
Yeah.
So female in Slovenia, the response rates are much higher. So it's like, dude, in the United States, I have to try and make it as easy as possible for them to accept a connection request, so that in the very near future, I can respond and say, hey, we're connected already. I'm working on a job that might be good for you.
Well, Michael, do you mention the client's name in your outreach or no?
No. So first in the connection request, it's just, hey, I see that we've got.
Well, that's why they're not.
common.
That's why they're not accepting.
I'm not because I'm not pitching anything in a connection request, because that's like going all the way to. Hang on. That's like going all the way from just initial connection to like, hey, you want to take a new job? I think that I've tried that a few times, but it's so accelerated. It seems to stink of desperation. Number two, I'm not going to tell them where it's at because it's contingent. So I'm not going to tell them, hey,
I think that's where that's where those response rates are going to be low, right? They're not going to take the time to talk to you and not know what the client is and invest all that time for a crappy.
Nick is coming out strong for a retained basis. I want to go back to the guest.
No, you don't. I feel as though, stay here for a bit. This is more interesting, or at least to some people. I feel that positive response rates are going to be significantly lower if I come at you and say, hey, Nick, we're not connected yet. And I'm just pitching a job at you. Hey, I've got this job. It's with this company. It's paying this much. Are you interested? And you're like, whoa, I'm happy where I'm at. Well, of course you're happy where you're at, dude. I know everybody's happy where they're at, but we still need to talk. And I'm just trying to gently like set up a series of like nudges.
Well, if you reach out to
like 5 minutes on the phone.
If you reach out to a software engineer and you say, hey, I have a senior software engineer job at Coinbase in your location, would love to chat.
How about this?
It's a step up with a great company. It's direct, like.
Most of the time, it's usually like you mentioned Coinbase. It's like saying,
that's what I'm saying.
It's like Amy saying that, Google and Microsoft, they have no cachet and nobody's interested in going there. Those names draw and at least win you a few seconds. I don't usually have that. So it's like, hey, I have this blank job at this podunk company that you've never heard of. And are you interested? If I want them to just pick up the phone or at least answer when I call, I still feel like I need to set them up with, hey, we got connections in common. Hey, thanks for connecting. And then, later, hey, we're connected.
Who wants later though? Who wants later?
Later could be 5 years from now.
Timing is everything.
Yes.
You have an opportunity now for that person right now.
No, then I should have been networking years ago or months ago, or at least weeks ago.
Okay, we want to go back to the guest, but first I want to say that I learned something from Michael G. Cox that I don't think he was actually telling me that I should learn. Okay, and it's when they say, I'm happy where I am, you say, of course you're happy where you are, but, okay, I like that rebuttal. I like that comeback. Yeah, you're happy there, but I'm going to make you happier.
It
Okay?
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Your
I'm going to make
happiness.
you happier. You can always be happier. Sarah, before we forget about you, okay, do you have that? You're going to read
do.
something to us? Go ahead.
So I hired this candidate, right?
Yeah.
So this candidate got a placement.
Yeah.
Hi, I am looking for developers to work with Pixie.js for a small turnkey iGaming solution provider based in Slovenia. Small team of 5 people in a company of 150. New project, fully remote, budget 40 to 70K plus options. Any chance you would be interested? Kind regards, Sarah.
Wow.
Anybody comment? I love it.
She asked a closed-ended question. Are you interested? No.
What if they say no? Go
That's
ahead.
a great email. If you're letting them, if you're going to attract the people that are right for that role, right?
What if
And you're
they
gonna
say
detract-
no? What if they say no, Sarah?
They say no, and I say, okay, great. If
Let's stay in
anything
touch.
changes on your side, reach out, and then they are in my network because.
Oh, you
like,
give up that easy? You don't fight, okay? You don't
no,
fight
I
for
don't
those.
fight. I
Nick,
don't
Nick,
fight. I'm
here's the
not
thing
one
that
of
I'm
those
concerned
recruiters.
about is there's a certain segment of the population that's going to just by being triggered, nah, not interested. But I feel that we could have made them interested had we softly gotten them to the call.
Sure.
I think
maybe.
it's, I side with Sarah. It's those no's on the actual, here's a real rec at a real time right now. Timing is everything. No, then we stay in touch and I'll keep you in mind for the next role. Not,
Hold on, Nick,
let's-
don't you think
let's
she should try to
say no, no,
rebut
no.
those guys? Well, how come though? Why aren't you interested? Let me tell you a bit more. Or do you figure you've told them everything and they know at that point whether
I mean, at some point you might follow up and explain the name. I noticed you didn't, Sarah, divulge the name of the client. You described it and was very specific about what they do and what the space and then what they're solving and all that without saying the name. You might be able to come back and say, have you heard of company X? They've been in the news, to maybe pique their interest a little bit more. And then if it's still a no, then maybe move on. But
let
yeah,
me ask her another follow-up. You don't ask for referrals?
Yes, I do. I try to.
How?
So if you are, if your situation changes at some point, feel free to reach out. Also, I'd be super happy if you know someone that would be great for the job, something like that.
That's it. And what's your reply rate on the referrals? How many referrals do you get?
I get a lot of referrals, but not from LinkedIn.
Where do you get them?
Mostly Slack and Facebook communities. And because I am outspoken and because I go on events and because all of the other things, because I help.
What kind of events do you go to?
Like developer meetups, for example, where I tell them that recruiters are cool and that we are.
Is Michael G. Cox his sexist remark? Is that relevant there? That you're a pretty girl, okay, and you're well spoken. Does that when you go to a meetup?
Pretty at all, but it certainly helps.
Okay.
I cannot say that, but I cannot say that because obviously I cannot know that. But I can tell you that I did also have problems because I am a girl, right? Because
tell us these bros, are they sexist or are they getting handsy or what do you mean?
No, I just mean in the sense that what do you know? Like you are a young woman that has no clue about life, right?
Okay, so how did you handle that? That's what I was asking you before. These IT recruiters are very cranky and nasty. No, the IT developers, and they come back and they hassle you. Okay. In fact, that's why I thought that when you say I'm not putting you forward, that's when they would come. What do you know, you dummy? Okay. So you're getting that. So how do you handle that?
I don't know. I just try to be polite and just not take it personally because I know it's not personal. So
Is it online or face to face?
Gonna hate. No, online. So I do have to tell you that I started this like I've never had face to face hiring. When I was in Germany, most of the time we hired also foreigners. They didn't come to our office when it comes to developers. And right now also internationally, I never see them. And also in Slovenia, I don't see developers that I hire.
What if your husband sat in the corner back there with his arms crossed like this, okay, during those meetups? I don't think anybody would come and hassle you anymore. I want to welcome to the show Mario, the recruiter.
Hi, folks.
MarioTheRecruiter.com. Over in the other corner, I don't know where he'll show up in the recruiting. SoftwareSalesRecruiting.com. That is not a good domain name. It's a little too long, but that's what he does.
He also has your
Recruiting.
software, your sales
He didn't
recruiter.
tell
What
me.
is it?
He
I got
didn't
a
tell
bunch
me
of
that.
them. I got a long list of them. Cornerstone
Thanks for
Search
not
is the best
telling
one.
me. I went out and
I
got
told
one.
you.
Okay. No, but really, the
Your
good thing about that
sales
domain name is Software Sales Recruiting tells you exactly what
your
he does.
sales recruiter, Rich Rosen.
Thank you, Michael G. Cox.
Thank you,
Honed,
Michael.
HONEIT.com. Wave your hand, Nick. Wave your hand, Nick. Okay, he's the CEO there. He's the CEO. Very nice guy. I advise anybody who's curious to talk to him. He's easily available. And Sarah, what's the address for your own company website? You didn't tell us. You don't know. You don't know.
I do. It's Mugen.si.
Yeah, what's that Mugen? M-U-G-A-N.
Is it like that the tuner Honda Mugen models, racing cars? I think you have Mugen modifications, right? I mean, is it? Or is some other meaning?
That's no. So it comes from Japanese. It means infinity.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing as the Honda models.
Yeah,
Mugen modifications.
Japanese with their funny language is the international.
It's not funny. That's not a funny language. That's wrong.
She thinks it's the international language. Okay,
What is
sorry.
Mugen again? Mugen dot what?
.si. But it's apparently just in Slovenian, which I so sorry for.
Okay,
that.
but you know what?
Is SI is dot SI the new is dot SI the new .io .ai?
No, that's Slovenia.
that's
Stuff with
Slovenia.
.si.
It's Slovenian. But here's
Hey,
the
by
thing.
the
Let me
way,
ask
it
you.
didn't work.
I want to survey you guys. Okay, she is in. I don't know. I'm very impressed with her. Maybe you guys aren't. I don't know. I'm very impressed. I think any company in the world would love to have her as their, rep over there in Eastern Europe. And so should she, since most of the people she's recruiting are Slovenian, does she have to, forget about English? I'm just going to have SI and everything else in Slovenian because that's where my market is. Or should she be doing everything in English to put herself on the world stage? Nick, you're very talkative today. You have to be a guest in the future because you like talking so much. I see.
Sorry,
What's your opinion on that?
Well, she's got the skill set. It's a global skill set, right? And there's now the world is remote. So, I mean, it sounds like she has a great niche with clients and candidates and building that network in Slovenia. Sounds like there's probably enough work to do right there. But, Sarah, if you ever did want to expand, there's technical recruiting roles.
Go for English.
Anywhere.
Go English. Forget about Mugan, right? That's what he's with me. Rich, do you have any opinions about how should she brand herself?
Yeah, if she wants to stay in Slovenia, if she's making it what she wants to make, and there's enough of a market there.
Hold on. She doesn't do business development to bring in her own clients. She's subcontracting to other agencies. Do you think she should go out and get her own business, Rich?
100%. 100%. You're leaving all that money on the table.
But she's got the personality and language. Wait a sec. I'll come back to you, MarioTheRecruiter.com. She's got the personality and language to go out and do it. Don't you think, Rich?
100%. 100%. It's the same call. Making a candidate call, making a client call, the exact same. It's just in your head.
So I don't really do business development, but I do generate a lot of business just by being me.
Dang, son! That was smooth right there.
Yeah. So I
told us she's got 2 clients. Okay, you said you're working for another recruiting agency in Slovenia and one in Germany.
I don't
Isn't
sell,
that what you told us before?
No, but it's true. Like for the Slovenian agency, like we have. So like I brought several companies that came to the agency to do hiring just because, they wanted me to do it or, because they saw me and they approached our agency. And I did that. I did do some business development. I did do some clients and so on, but it's really not for me. As you said at the beginning, I hate capitalism and I hate business and I really am not.
Why do you hate capitalism? I mean, you're in business.
She's from a communist country. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, your clients know it's about the recruiter who fills the job, not about the business development person that made that first introduction.
But isn't that capitalism in its purest sense?
Yeah.
I mean, hate is a bit of a strong word, obviously, just don't
I
take
also
it
like to
seriously.
eat.
I was joking.
But
Okay.
I am not a business person.
I hate capitalism, but I hate bread lines.
Hey, I love capitalism, man. I am for the dollar.
Hey,
All my
everybody,
dollar.
But she
to
loves her
clarify-
Yugo, so it's all right.
Just to clarify, okay, that was a bit of a joke on my part. I can read the quote where I derived it from, but it was an overstatement. Okay, she's not anti anything. Although I thought, there's a lot of people like Tejal as well, who was a guest. They seem so tough online, okay? And when they come on the show, they're fun. They're nice people. This girl complains on Facebook people shouldn't tell her to smile, and she hasn't stopped smiling once since she got on the show. Okay, so they're better.
She's trying to drive home the point that she doesn't need anybody telling her.
Yeah.
She can smile enough on her own.
Yeah. Okay. Here's
I'm going to start telling her to stop smiling.
Okay, Mario the recruiter, when we want to have a political discussion, I'll bring you in, okay? But
Please do.
didn't Dualta Doherty say that you look like you're living in a prison anyway, and you told him it was going to look better in a couple of weeks?
He got a new cell.
Yeah, okay. She has a strange idea of ghosting, okay? She
Yeah.
says, after the first call with a recruiter, okay, if I don't come back to you as I promised and you didn't reach out to me, that's not ghosting. If you say you're going to call somebody and you don't, this is at least in English, if you say you're going to call somebody and you don't call them back, that's ghosting, okay? How come you say it isn't?
Because like when I approach people, so like I cooperate with so many agencies also, because when I approach people,
You
I
work
kind
with them. You don't cooperate with them, okay?
yeah, I
You work with them.
Yeah, you're right. So
How is that
it's
not ghosting
when
though?
I approach developers, I try to be like, look, I want to help you to, change your job and to get a job that you really want. So one of my questions is always, what's your unicorn job, right? And then when they tell me, I'm like, okay, well, if I find something, I will come back to you, or let me check and I will come back to you next week. And if I don't, and they don't reach out, they're also not interested. And that's, next time when I'm going to think about them, I've never had people being bitter about this.
Let's have a go round on that, starting with Michael G. Cox, because he's already foaming at the mouth. Go ahead.
No, that was not ghosting. She just said, if I find something and it makes sense, I'll get back to you. That part, that's not ghosting. No.
You didn't say you'll get back to them next week or something like that?
If she committed to getting back to him in a certain time frame and did not, that's ghosting.
Is it really ghosting if people are not interested? Like, I think this ghosting question is kind of like friend zoning. It's not. It's like
ghosting is ghosting is if you're going to go after an interview. You just don't call the person back. Where you say, I'm going to get you set up for an interview on Tuesday. You never call them back, or the candidate never calls you back.
There's so many people on Twitter who say, I hate recruiters. They said they call me at 3:00 on Wednesday.
You know who says that? Most of the people that actually suck at their job anyway, and the recruiter didn't find them a job.
Yeah, and I think
Rich Rosen.
a lot of people think recruiters are like working for them versus the client.
True.
So there's like a total miscommunication. Like, who's paying who? You're not paying me anything. I'm helping you find a job, and you're not paying me anything. So
Dude, I had one of those yesterday. It was wild. Guy says, well, why don't I just go? So full disclosure. No, I'm not going to say who the company was, but this one company.
Please do.
The jobs that I've got, they're not posting anywhere. And the guy says, so why should I work with you? I can just go apply directly. I said, hey man, have at it. I already sent them your name. And if you're not coming from me, they're not going to talk to you. So the guy was like pissed. Well, I don't want to work with you. Don't.
Michael G. Cox is getting tougher and tougher as time goes on.
He's all grows up.
Okay, which tools do you absolutely love for a recruiter? Rich Rosen, I'll warm it up. He's got a new one that he's recommending. The Jerry disagreed with it. What is it, Rich? SmartWriter? Rich Rosen, smartwriter.ai? Oh, he's turned us off already. Okay, back to you, Sarah. Do you have any
Mario,
tools you want to recommend?
weren't you using that one, Mario?
Jarvis.ai. That's what I'm using now.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome, man. You gotta try
Jarvis,
it out.
that's from Tamkin. Okay, Sarah, we don't want to lose you, okay? What tools do you like? Do you want to recommend any tools? You already told us LinkedIn, Slack, and you use Reddit for certain jobs. You mentioned one other source as well. What was it? Facebook. How do you recruit on Facebook? Okay, I could never figure that out. How? Oh, you go to the Slovenian jobs. Okay, you're in a special niche. Any other tools or sources that, no, that really does. Michael G. Cox is right. That separates you from everybody else, okay? It's a much smaller community, and it's easier to,
Hey,
isolate them.
right now that Rich can't hear me, one of the things that I'm using quite a bit is sales communities, whether they be on Slack or like Bravado, different sales communities where sales executives come together, have conversations. I mean, I can pull their I can see where
You
they're
know what,
working
Sarah,
and-
you're going to have to come back because Michael G. Cox has so much to say. Between him and Nick, you don't get a word in edgewise. People are always blaming me, okay?
Hey, Sara, stop smiling.
Okay, he likes to say your name because it's probably the same in Spanish. Okay,
Yes, it is.
yeah, okay. So tell us, are there any other tools? The question I asked you a
I
little while
cannot
ago.
live without Glossary Tech. Glossary Tech is the plugin, the phone plugin.
For tech explanations, a tool that tells you what tech? You mean you
Yeah.
took that course and you still have to use it?
Yeah, sure. Like it's so
Check
super
out text
funny
screen,
because
I'm telling you.
yeah,
text
it's
screen.
my husband is a developer, a senior developer, and so many times I ask him questions and he's like,
Oh, you're
"How
so lucky. You've got a great in-house resource
Yeah,
there. That's
I do.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
Any other tools? Any other tools?
I mean, not really that you haven't like.
What about a scheduling tool? Is that your responsibility? Michael G. Cox like book like a boss. I think that's what he
That's
likes.
right.
And other people like Calendly. Do you use any scheduling software?
I have coworkers that take care of the scheduling.
Okay.
usually.
Rich, are you awake yet? Are you listening
I'm
to
awake.
us?
Sorry,
or
I'm
you're-
trying to do business, my friend. People are calling.
Oh, okay, I
Calling
won't
next morning.
bother you. I won't bother you.
Yeah,
But you
I'm-
just, I
yes.
was want you were talking
What do you
about
mean?
It's Noon there, yeah.
smartwriter.ai. Okay. so
Sales
that's
writer.
what-
Is it sales writer, smart writer? What is it
Smart writer. I looked. Okay. You love it?
Is it,
called?
Rich,
Yeah,
is it better than Jarvis?
I'm just getting into it. It's interesting. It's still an early stage company, but if you want a quick way to get a write up on, a candidate, quick way to write up on a client on when you're going to call into them and outreach, it's a great email generator. So all this AI
Rich,
writing tools are fantastic.
quick question, if you don't mind. Is it like Jarvis or better than Jarvis?
It's more specific than Jarvis. It's really because what this will do, you put your email, say you're doing your call for
Yeah.
Oracle. So you put oracle.com in, and then you can put in like a LinkedIn URL, and it will create a personalized intro for that person based on Oracle or based on the company you're going after or whatever. There's a lot
What's
of
the
things.
website?
It's Smart Writer AI, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're young, they're getting better every day. I was just talking to the founder this morning, actually. So they're keep adding to the tool, but it's really good. It's Jarvis is really good as well,
Okay.
but it gives you more abstract kind of stuff. This is
Yeah,
this is
correct.
really centric.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Okay. You don't like cold calls, Sarah. Am I right about that? I'll read what you said since you don't seem to remember everything that you've said in the past year. You said, when I was an office manager, I was the first point of contact for the phone calls. None of our developers had phones. So if someone called them, I had to go get them, and they would take the phone call behind my desk, standing right next to me. I was also the HR person. So no coworker ever had a discussion the person who cold called them at work. Okay. It can put candidates in a very awkward situation. In other words, don't do it. Okay. That's the first point. You also said, I only do tech recruiting, and my reality is that a lot of candidates have anxiety and they're not very comfortable with social interaction. So you're making your candidates sound like mental cases. You say writing is way easier for them. Okay, you want to address those 2 points?
Yeah, so my first job was a startup. We started at 15 people and then expanded to 30. So I knew when people are were considering leaving, because we had great relationships. So it didn't put them in an awkward position, because if they wanted to look for another job, I was the first one that actually suggested, okay, these are the recruiters that we work with, they're great, go with them, right? So I actually was in that regard, like we had a very good relationship with all of them. That's why I didn't really
does that negate what you said, that it's not good to cold call?
I thought it was really weird because we only had one phone, and I thought it was really kind of unprofessional to kind of hunt them and then talk to the office manager.
Is that a general rule? Is that a general rule with everybody at with companies that do programming?
Do you call companies? Like, do you see
that they don't have phones? Do IT developers, Nick, do they have phones at their desks?
I mean, nowadays everybody's working from home, so everybody's got a landline.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
It's interesting because, like, I know Rich is a big proponent of cold calling, and I think for most sales jobs where you're calling someone about selling a thing to the buyer of the thing, like, it's professional and it makes sense. But if you're cold calling someone at the office when they're next to their colleagues about leaving their job, that's a pretty awkward experience. Now everybody's home, so maybe that's
no. But you say, hey, can you talk now? I'm a headhunter. Can we talk now? And you say no later on. Okay, you could settle that easy. But if there's only one phone, that's tough. Right. Okay, and I had that experience recruiting electrical engineers in the Midwestern United States. They were freaked out when I called them. I hated it. It was the worst. One of the
we've all seen that when the person on the team gets the awkward phone call and is like, it's like, you open the work toggle on your LinkedIn profile. We know what you did.
Well, they should say, you get on the phone, you say, look, when you get rid of me, call me honey, okay? Oh, honey,
honestly, but you know what?
Sorry, now isn't a good time. Whoever says that on a call, like, unless it's about leaving your current job.
I used to tell them. I used to always say, listen, tell me if you can't talk, tell me you got to get your brakes in your car fixed, or tell me it's your brakes or something like that.
There you go. He's so smart.
Good strategy.
Genius. That's the genius of Rich Rosen.
There you go.
Okay.
But also nowadays, like, everyone that doesn't want to cold call anymore is just missing the boat. I don't care what anyone tells me, because these companies now have different software products, like whether it's Hey, which will just block out your email because you had a pixel in it, or you had a link in it, like Pegasystems, a big tech company. If your email has a link in it, it's not getting through. Right. They're never going to see it. So you can email them 1,000 times. It's pick up the phone.
If you have a phone number, though, would you say text message is a bit more discreet than cold call?
No. But I think this is a thing that also we are really missing. Like, I usually don't get phone numbers because I for some reason, Americans, you have like your phone numbers, like it's easier to get contacts. But for me,
and they're all over the place. Check out Chatterworks or Swordfish or Lucia.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work because we don't publish our phone numbers. So only it's really hard to get contacts. So when I do, it's usually from our database. So but it's not really a cold call because it's our database. So obviously they know that they have the number there.
Honestly, though, I would check out like Pre-Contact Tool. Pre-Contact and Lucia, they're both based over in Europe, and they have tons of European numbers.
Which one? Say it again. Lucia, Lusha. Okay, and what's the other one?
Pre-Contact Tool. Pre-Contact.
Pre-Contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I mean, this is totally off topic. I want to ask a question from you guys. Okay, you send a couple of emails, outreach for business development, and a guy gets back to saying, do not contact me. Would you contact someone else in that company, or you move to a different company? You contact someone else in the company, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Right.
Are you sending that to a work email when you get that response?
Yeah, for a business development call. BD, basically.
If it's a work email, I would respond back to him and say, hey, listen, apologize, but just send a thank you. Hey, thanks for getting back to me. Sorry. And just, but when you're looking, let me know. And you'll be amazed how many times those guys get back to you from the personal email.
Rich, I'm talking about for a business opportunity.
He knows. He knows. He's telling you to turn it on its head. Okay.
And I mean, you're reaching out to a client, or you're reaching out to a candidate.
Client.
Wow, who cares? Move on to the next then. Who cares?
Oh, okay, I was wrong. I thought Rich was
I know
playing
it's hard to hear from the prison cell. It's hard to hear from that prison cell over there.
Yeah. Okay.
Just give me next week, okay? I'm at home because of my little one. Okay.
No, we're just making fun. We're just kidding around. Okay. We don't care what you're in. Okay. If you didn't have an echo for once, it would be good. But even so, I'm happy to have you. MarioTheRecruiter.com. That's his new URL. Now, hold on, Sarah. You didn't skip these. You said that these programmers don't like speaking. Okay. They don't like talking. They like writing. Is that true? Or you also said they're saving it for their managers. They like talking to the manager, but nobody else. They use up too much energy opening their mouths. What's the story there?
No, I just feel that maybe also there is this disconnect because I also prefer to have this async communication with people, where I get to reply on my own time, when I get to take, some time to think about things before I write, to check maybe some resources or whatever. And just, I don't know, I prefer, not to be put on the spot and like, okay, reply immediately. But obviously this is because I also approach things this way, because my husband speaks with a lot of recruiters, and I know that this is also a way just to be like super pushy and to just be like, calling people and just, be like, okay, it's this super high energy. And where I try to be like, really like, dude, just, I'm here to find you a job that you would want. So whenever you feel like you're ready, let's talk. So because of this, I had a lot of people coming back to me. I have a lot of people just being like, oh, okay, it's super refreshing, that someone doesn't push me into a requirement just because, I have to fill my KPIs or whatever. So that's why I also don't really like to put them on the spot and call them. I usually, I rarely call people.
Okay, yeah, you didn't answer the question, but it was
them.
interesting. Okay, I'm going to say that her suggestion was that they were a bit kooky. Okay, and don't push them, corner them, like she said. Don't put them on the spot. It makes them uncomfortable. But Michael G. Cox has something to tell you there. He gives them a screen. You send a list of questions, so they have to screen themselves, right? They give you that information by email or something before you even talk to them. Am I right about that?
Are you talking about individuals that I'm targeting for?
You're recruiting them.
Candidates.
Before you talk to them, you send them a list of questions. This is what I have to know, right?
Yeah,
like an application
yeah, sometimes
form.
I will. It's like a kind of like a pre-screening kind of form.
Yeah, well, not a phone call, an email. Okay.
Form. I said form. Not phone.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And you were surprised to find. I think we're getting close to the end. You were surprised to find, Sarah, and you feel you haven't really assimilated this, that people in the real world of business lie all the time.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell us why you say that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just super naive. I don't know.
What do they lie about? What do they lie about?
I was super shocked when I got my first fake application. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know this happens. Like that people send fake applications, which I knew it was fake because there was an American guy applying for a job in Slovenia. Like, seriously, dude, you earn 50K here. There is no way you are going to apply for a job from New York to work in Slovenia for 50K. That's just not going to happen. So it was an easy, like I spotted it super quickly.
Sarah, no offense meant, but trust me, stay in Slovenia. You get decimated if you come to the US in the tech department, okay? I'm not joking. Decimated is an understatement.
Yeah, okay? I guess, yeah. I'm really super like, I just always trust, that people have best intentions and it.
No. I thought you were saying, do you do phone screens? Once the person says, yeah, I'm interested. How long? Half hour?
Usually, yeah, something like that.
That's longer. No, that's not. You say when you had to think about it, that's not a half hour. It's an hour, right?
No. Usually, like it depends how much we talk because we go immediately.
Do they lie to your face on the phone? To your face, kind of. Do they lie? I mean, you talked about someone who sent a phony resume but do they lie when they're talking to you?
It hasn't happened to me that I would know of.
Okay, you know what? What's she talking about? She's shocking people lie. She gets a resume that's no good.
Excuse me, in tech, another guy will take the interview on the phone and another guy will be on the video, okay?
I read about that.
They do that. Yeah,
but I don't do tech screening, so obviously, like that's not my job, So that's
not my job, man. And who wants to say, Sarah? What's your? Does anybody else want to say something? We're at the end. Anybody got a message or a question that they have to say before the time's it's just killing them? No. Sarah, what's your final comment? What do you want to say?
I have a lot to learn. I hope that I share still a different perspective from what you are usually used to, because I do things, differently. I hire for a very small market. So
no, you don't do things that differently.
I think you're doing great, Sarah. I think you're doing a lot of things right.
Okay, but here's the thing, okay? If she was a regular, I would have to go out and get her a domain name again because she doesn't have one maybe Mugan. MUGAN.SI. I remembered. Okay. MUGEN.
Yeah.
Make it easy for me. But okay. But I'll give you some advice. I think Rich told you something true. You're leaving $500,000 a year on the table with your current skills. Okay. You've got an in-house reference
I don't
with your
need
husband.
$500,000 per
Oh,
year.
I don't want money. I don't want money. That's
It's
a
evil.
final
Making money's
statement.
no good. No, no, no.
I don't want money either. I just want the stuff that I get with the money.
Exactly.
I want the money,
Exactly.
okay?
Over
I'm gonna
here,
Straight.
over
I
here
love
is
the
Mike.
money.
Michael G. Cox, thesalesrecruiter.com. Down there is Honeit, Honeit. Nick, you've got a lot to say. You're going to be a guest in a couple of weeks. Okay, I'm going to talk to you after the show.
Sounds great.
Down there in that cell is MarioTheRecruiter.com. I couldn't pick anything specific.
Prison recruiter. Yeah.
Prison recruiter.
There's a niche. There we go.
Yeah,
He's in
prison
a lot of
break.
different. He's in a lot of different niches. He's not working one narrow thing. Although IT, I thought he was just an IT recruiter, but he's way beyond that. Check him out, MarioTheRecruiter.com, and software sales recruiting.com. The fabulous Rich Rosen. If you want to watch all the past videos from this year, go to recruitinganimalshow.com. And I got the link thing, the link tree from Ivan. I like it. Mustardandrelish.com. You'll see all my links. Sarah, come back anytime. It was lovely. Everybody wave, please.
Smile.
Thanks.